The Book of Genesis. The Preamble History. Chapter 1. First story of creation. In the beginning, when God created the heavens and the earth was formless, wasteland and darkness covered the abyss, while a mighty wind swept over the waters. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw how good the light was. God then separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called the night. Thus evening came and morning followed, the first day. Then God said, "Let there be a dome in the middle of the waters, to separate one body of water from the other." And so it happened. God made the dome, and it separated the water above the dome from the water below it. God called the dome the sky. Evening came and morning followed, the second day. Then God said, "Let the water under the sky be gathered into a single basin, so that the dry land may appear." And so it happened. And the water under the sky was gathered into a basin, and the dry land appeared. God called the dry land the earth, and the basin of the water he called the sea. God saw how good it was. Then God said, "Let the earth bring forth vegetation, every kind of plant that bears seed, and every kind of fruit on earth that bears fruit with its seed in it." And so it happened. The earth brought forth every kind of plant that bears seed, and every kind of fruit tree on earth that bears fruit with its seed in it. God saw how good it was. Evening came, and the morning followed, and the third day. God said, "Let there be lights in the dome of the sky, to separate the day from night. Let them mark the fixed times, the days, the years, and serve as luminaries in the dome of the sky, to shed light upon the earth." And so it happened. God made the two great lights, the greater one to govern the day, and the lesser one to govern the night. And he made the stars. God set them into the dome of the sky, to shed light upon the earth, to govern the day and the night, and to separate the light from the darkness. God saw how good it was. Evening came, and morning followed, the fourth day. Then God said, "Let the water teem with the abundance of living creatures on earth. Let birds fly beneath the dome of the sky." And so it happened. God created the great sea monsters and all kinds of swimming creatures with which the water teems, and all kinds of winged birds. God saw how good it was, and God blessed them, saying, "Be fertile, multiply, and fill the water of the seas, and let the birds multiply on earth." Evening came, and morning followed, the fifth day. Then God said, "Let the earth bring forth all kinds of living creatures, cattle, creeping things, and wild animals of all kinds." And so it happened. God made all kinds of wild animals, all kinds of cattle, and all kinds of creeping things of the earth. God saw how good it was. Then God said, Let us make a man in our own image, after our likeness. Let them have dominion of the fish, over the fish of the sea, the birds of the air, and the cattle, and over all wild animals, and all the creatures that crawl on ground. God created man in his image. In the divine image he created him. Male and female he created them. God blessed them, saying, "Be fertile and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it. have dominion over the fish of the sea, the birds of the air, and all the living things that move on earth. God also said, "See, I give you every seed-bearing plant all over the earth, and every tree that has seed-bearing fruit on it, to be your food, and to all animals of the land, all the birds of the air, and all the living creatures that crawl on ground. I give it I give all the green plants for food." And so it happened. God looked at everything he had made and found it very good. Evening came and morning followed, the sixth day. Chapter 2. Thus the heavens and the earth and all array were completed. Since on the seventh day God has finished with the work he had been doing, he rested on the seventh day from all the work he had undertaken. So God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because on it rested from all the work he had done in creation. Such is the story of the heavens and the earth at their creation. Second story of creation. At the time when the Lord God made the earth and the heavens, while as yet there was no field scrub on earth, and no grass of field has sprouted, for the Lord God had sent no rain among the earth, and there was no man to till the soil, but a stream was welling up out of the earth, and was watering all the surface of the ground. The Lord God formed man out of his clay of the ground, and blew it into his nostrils, that breath of life, and so man became a living being. Then the Lord God planted a garden in Eden, in the east, and he placed there the man whom he had formed out of the ground. The Lord God made various trees grow that were delightful to look at and good for food, with the tree of life in the middle of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and bad. A river rises at the Eden to water the garden. Beyond there it divides and becomes four branches. The name of the first was Pishon. It is the one that winds through the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. The gold is of that land, and it is excellent. Bdellium and lapis lazuli are also there. The name of the second river is Gihon. It is the one that winds all through the land of Cush. The name of the third river is Tigris. It is the one that flows east of Ashur. The fourth river is Euphrates. The Lord God took the man and settled him in the Garden of Eden to cultivate and care for it. The Lord God gave man this order: "You are free to eat from any of the trees of the garden, except the tree of knowledge of good and bad. From the tree you shall not eat. The moment you eat from it, you were surely doomed to die." The Lord God said, "It is not good for man to be alone. I will make a suitable partner for him." So the Lord God formed out of the ground various wild animals and various birds of the air, and he brought them to the man to see what would call them. Whatever the man called each of them would be its name. The man gave names to all the cattle, all the birds of the air, and all the wild animals, but none proved to be the suitable partner for the man. So the Lord God cast a deep sleep on the man, and while he was asleep, he took one of his ribs and closed up to his flesh the man, and the Lord God then built up into a woman the rib that he had taken from the man. When he brought her to the man said, "This one at last, this is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. This one shall be called woman, for out of her man this one has been taken." That is why A man leaves his father and mother and clings to his wife, and the two of them became one body. The man and his wife were both naked, yet they felt no shame. Chapter 3. The Fall of Man. Now the serpent was the most cunning of all the animals that the Lord God had made. The serpent asked the woman, "Did God really tell you not to eat from any of these trees in the garden?" The woman answered the serpent, "We may eat